Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Rico, my man. What's going on, brother?
Not much. My team is got too many injuries.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. About that. I have some suggestions for you and Lou. Hey, first of all, I just want to say this is the kickoff for the new Great American Collectibles season. Tom Zappola, my good buddy, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli, and we are very excited to be reintroducing our new old producer, Lou Blassie. Louis, baby, how are you?
I'm not that old in this group.
True.
Louis, we're glad to be back with you. Rico and I and JM are thrilled that Louis is going to be producing the show for us. Again, you guys know Chrissy is actually going to be doing a little part-time work for us, but Chrissy is going to be pursuing her musical career. And I guess this weekend, Rico, they did that big festival, and I guess they knocked it out of the ballpark. So I think Chrissy's band, Tumbletoads, I think they're going to be Tumbletoads. They're kind of like an indie band, one of those indie bands. So I think they're very, very, very good. So I'm really excited about that.
That's good.
For those of you, then Louis, how about a little background? First of all, say hi to Joe and Derek, the two goats in the auction world. Joe Tomasulo from Golden Auctions, and Derek Grady, my good friend, two friends from Heritage Auction. Louis, a little background. Are you still with Sirius Radio?
Still with Sirius. And
go ahead.
Still on Sirius, still writing for InsiderBaseball.com, still doing about 20 podcasts a week, and now working for DraftKings at the Sportsbook in Seabrook.
All right, so you're doing a little of everything. DraftKings.
Are you award-winning, Lou?
He is award-winning.
Okay.
Because
Zappola has to have that at the top of the show.
Well, hey, by the way, Knucklehead, Blassie was an award-winning author with Joe and Ellen and I on our first book. Louis co-wrote the T206 collection, The Players and Their Stories, with us.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, he's got it. He's got it down.
Add me in one of these books. I'll say something about the rarity of them, and then you can call me an award winner too. All right.
Man, oh man, tough room. All right, listen, we got a lot to talk.
That book, I guess.
Tough crowd.
Was that, Lou?
I guess I won an award for that book too, right?
Yeah, you did. Of course you did. We got the. Hey, by the way, congratulations. I don't know if you guys know this, Rico. Congratulations to James Fiorentino and John Mallory. The book that James wrote just won the gold medal, and the Independent Publishers Association just awarded them the gold medal.
That's great.
Yeah.
We both deserve it. John, I love John. You do too. We're great guys. And Fiorentino is just a talented artist. He's not many like him. Seriously.
Derek, how many of his pieces of artwork do you own?
I think a dozen.
Really?
Yeah, I got to break out into some of his other stuff too. He's just amazing at whatever he does. I literally think he's the best watercolor artist there is.
I think so too. I agree.
Can I ask you a question, Lou? Maybe it's Lou could answer this. How come I don't see the guys? The four little what do you call it? Photos? of everyone. I only see myself.
You don't know what the hell you're doing, Louis. Can you
tell me?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you get to see yourself.
No, I guess
sort of pre-production. I think
the other guys,
you can't see it.
No, I know. I'm trying to figure out how you can only see yourself at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for you because we can all see each other.
Yeah.
It says mirror my camera. Should I take that off?
No, don't do that. Don't touch any of that. Get out of the settings. First of all, you're probably in settings when you set your mic.
Yes.
So in the upper right,
this is great. I love this.
So in the upper right, there's an X. Hit the X there.
Upper right, hit the X.
Now, okay. Hey,
There we
at
go.
least I asked somebody. You try to do it yourself.
I do. And I wind up in
He likes
Singapore.
it.
All right, let's get to both of these guys, Joe and Joe and Derek.
Hey, what's up, Reed?
Listen, I asked both
Joe,
of you guys.
Rico.
What's happening? Here
you
we
can
are.
see everybody. All right, listen, we asked both of you guys to come here because you guys know what we're all about. You guys have both been with us since day one. This is we're going into our 9th year, which we're really excited about. All right, I'm going to ask you guys first question. Joe, what are your thoughts on Derek Grady in the hobby?
Oh, wow. We're coming out swinging.
Got your ass.
Wow. Do you
Wow.
want me to be honest?
Yep.
Be careful. But go ahead.
One of the, if not the best card grader in the hobby. Okay. And arguably the best consignment director in the hobby.
I got to make sure I didn't
And-
tune into the show. Yeah.
Can I throw in a third thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to quote Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry.
Oh, Jesus.
Sometimes a legend in his own mind. But other than that,
Oh, there we
Derek's the best.
Derek?
You have
You
to have
know-
confidence in you. Let me just say this.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
You
Reed.
do have to have confidence, and you guys have confidence because you're knowledgeable. Not to suck up, but no, I don't do that. I swear.
No way.
Hey, you
Tom,
guys.
all
back
kidding
up.
aside, nobody knows cards better than Derek. No.
All right, great.
Derek?
No, I appreciate that, and I would say so. Joe T. What am I saying about Joe T? Well, what do I think about Joe T? I think he is, when he was a free agent out there, he was highly sought after, and he's made a demonstrative change in Golden's auctions with his. People like Joe T a lot because he's passionate about the hobby. He knows his stuff. And what some people don't know is, obviously, he's very good at getting consignments in his relationships, but he's one of the best writers in the hobby. Literally writes with a passion. And, I think we have, Jonathan, who writes our stuff, is unbelievable. And, Joe's right there with, the way he writes, and there are different types of writers in there, but, but what Joe does is he talks to the hobby as well and does a great job selling his items. So, and he really puts a lot of time into it. He does graphs and he does all kinds of crazy stuff too.
Yeah, Joe, I noticed that. I mean, that was a nice piece that you did, that graph on the Wagner card that you did last week. And by the way, the Wagner card opens up tomorrow night.
10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
No, wait a minute. Today is Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Wednesday night. So tonight.
Yes.
Tonight,
Yes.
it opens up.
Is it now the Wagner card?
Yeah.
What's
The
that,
Wagner
D?
card is Kendrick's Wagner card.
All right. Let's not.
That
let's
is
not-
the Wagner card.
That is the
You're right.
Wagner card.
All right. So let's talk.
say one.
First of all, let's talk
Let
about
me
Golden.
let me
Go ahead,
say
Rick.
something about these guys. We need them. We need them on the show for the collectors that are listening. The 100 million people we have listening and watching, and they tell something about not only their auctions, but about the hobby itself. If I'm a collector, right? Say a young collector, thank you, or an old collector. I want to know what's going on. Where's this hobby going? What's hot? What's not? You know what I mean? That we did a show on Pokemon. What the hell? We didn't know what the hell we were.
We still don't.
Anyway,
We still don't.
Pokemon
I'm
is
not sure that
incredible.
Joe and I can help
right?
out with the Pokemon market. I don't know.
No,
about that.
right. I'm just saying, but it's so we appreciate you guys. Not to suck up, but I'm being honest.
Well, I agree with Rico. You guys, for us, I mean, how many times have I bounced stuff off of both of your heads, asking your opinion? What do you guys think about this? Is it worth buying? Is it worth selling? Your take on the hobby. You guys you've been great to us.
Well,
All right, enough
you.
of that, Rico.
All right, let's go.
Enough of that.
That's
All right,
enough.
enough. All right,
Hey,
Joe.
listen,
go ahead.
the truth is we're both hobbyists. That we're blessed to work in the hobby. I remember Joe when he submitted cards for grading, and he worked. Joe, as an accountant, what did you do?
I was a controller at MetLife.
Yeah, controller. Okay, so bigger than an accountant.
Right.
And he submitted a card, but he was equally as passionate as a collector. And then he found a job in the hobby, and he's been, and when you do what you love, you don't feel like you're working, even though we work our asses off and we travel and we do trade shows and work long hours, you don't even add them up, So it's just when you do what you love, I guess. Keep learning. Keep learning every day. It keeps changing.
Yeah. Derek, let's talk about the first of all, let's talk about the heritage schedule for the summer. What do you got going?
So, we have an auction going on all the time. So we have our June showcase auction coming up, and then we roll into our July catalog auction, which has, I picked up a fresh Collins McCarthy set where the Roots graded a 5 and the Jacksons a 5, and then we'll run the rest of the set, and some wax box, just all kinds of PSA, SGC graded cards and wax boxes alike. And then we roll into our Platinum Night auction, which is on display at the National, which you could make the argument, which, pretty much our competitors, everybody that walked in the show, the promoters, last year's National, we had probably the best display ever seen at the National. But that also had the Ruth Called Shot jersey and a Jackie jersey. Had an incredible, it was the best auction the hobby's ever seen. I mean, it did over $60 million. But
who needs to drive to Cooperstown?
Yeah,
exactly.
So this auction, again, will we do 60 million? Not likely, but it's going to be, there's, a fresh Mantle uniform to the hobby, and Clemente jersey and Williams jersey, and there's going to be all kinds of bats. And Joe, you saw our signed 52 Mantle that's second to none that's going up in that auction. And we have the best modern card. It's a $6 million estimate on a Jordan Kobe logo man, 1 of 1, graded a PSA 6. So, I mean, and again, compared to a Wagner card, to some of these modern buyers, that's as good as a Wagner card.
But if I may say something before Joe says that.
Yeah.
No, I want to say, Joe must have talked to you guys, because you got a big article on Mr. Judge on your website. And I was surprised. A number of cards, I know this is maybe off a little bit, but some of his cards, they go for 46,000, 48,000. I thought they would go for more. I just wanted to mention that because I was very, very surprised, not at having the article on him. He's great for baseball, but yeah, here recently sold for 48,000. Sold for, here's another one for 43.2. Not shabby, but I was just thinking, we talk about modern. He's the guy, isn't he? I mean, him and Ohtani.
Right. And I think Derek would agree with me. The issue there, Rico, is there's so many. There's really? 1 of 5s, 1 of 10s, 1 of 20s. And these cards are pulling $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. There's a sea of Aaron Judge rarity autographed by Judge. Yeah. And believe me, if there was just a handful, you'd be talking 6 to 7 figures.
But Joe, you're making my point. We've talked about this a zillion times. Derek, we've talked about it. Manufactured rarities. It's a bunch of bull. It really is a bunch of bull.
They're 1 of 1s, and people look. We're the Pacific Rim. Asia is collecting tons of collectors over there. Okay. China has over 1 billion people. They're 4 times the size of the United States. Start to think about India and all these different countries that are 4 times the size of the United States, the collectors coming in from these other countries, and they want Ohtanis, and not just Ohtanis. They're buying Jordan cards. They're buying all kinds of different cards and rookie cards.
See?
So that's why Ohtani, you're going to see more examples of $1 million cards probably than Aaron Judge. I'm not sure off the top of my head what Aaron Judge's best rookie card is. I'm sure it's a super refractor. And it's probably a 1 of 1. And, but Ohtani's cards are just
incredible.
Right. And Derek, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold on, Joe. We got about a minute left before the first break. Minute and a half.
Okay.
Wow.
Go ahead. Ask Derek your question, but then I want to know what's going on with Golden.
Regarding China, Derek, basketball is head and heels above all the other sports.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And and all the hot rookies that, they're Kobe, crazy, Jordan, crazy, and the current guys.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, Joe, what's going on?
That's great stuff. Great stuff.
Well, Tom, we just, kicking off the T206 Wagner auction, lot number 1. Starts at a $2 million bid, and we'll see where it goes. It's funny, Tom, you were referencing, we were joking around about my chart. So I kind of broke it up into 2 different segments.
That was actually very cool.
Right. So this Wagner sold in 2010 for $282,000. Okay, in a public auction.
Yeah.
And the last sale of any PSA one was $3.1 million. So that's 1,012% increase over a 12-year period, which absolutely blows away the stock market. The Dow's been up over 200%, the S&P 300 and the NASDAQ 500% over that 12 years. So that was one of the charts that I put in there to show you buy a Wagner, it's a sure thing. If you just got a little patience, you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, listen, before we take a break, coming back from the break, Lou, when you were producing the show, did we do the On Deck with Rico segment?
No, we didn't. It's going to be new to me. Excellent.
Okay, and Lou, I want you to, what we do every week is we have somebody send in a question to Rico and he answers it. But over the next couple of weeks, since you haven't been with us, you can come up with a couple of questions. So when we come back, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with On Deck with Rico. Joe's in the house. Derek's in the house. Louie's in the house. Rico's in the house. And I'm in the house. Hang in there. We'll be right
back. Woohoo!
I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest. because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Derek's in the house, Joe's in the house, Rico and Lou are in the house. You know, I got to tell you guys something. Hands down, the Ritz cracker is the greatest cracker ever invented. Can you dispute that?
I mean, I like saltines. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty generic with that, I guess.
I mean, you can use it for anything. You can use the Ritz cracker for anything. Rick, is that your cracker? Hang it up.
Use for
No, that's not my phone.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
choo-choo trains going around.
Are you getting paid? Did Ritz offer you like $14
no, but
a month or something?
I've eaten a half a sleeve since the show started.
All right, just so any of the advertisers know, Tom will sell his soul out for $14 a month.
That's
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right,
Ritz crackers. They're the best crackers.
It's time for. All right, can we move on? It's time for our segment on deck with Rico.
Peanuts.
All right, may I stop?
He's got his protein bars too. It does nothing.
It's time for our segment on deck with Rico, brought to us each week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. This week's question, Rick, was submitted by Bill Dixon.
Bill Dixon.
And this is a good question. I like this question. Rico, why isn't bunting utilized more often in today's game?
Well, what's that? Here's the deal now. I don't know if you guys agree with me. It's because of the Baltimore Orioles' great manager, who's a Hall of Famer,
Earl Weaver.
Yeah, Earl.
Yep.
And Earl started no bunts. The hell with it. 3-run home runs and pitching. That's what he started, and that he started that. Why should I give it out? Why I got 3 chances to guys to knock runs in. Okay, which a lot of times backfires. Most of the time, I don't agree with that. I like to see the bunt. Late innings, you're 1 run behind, you got 2 men on, bunt. Anyway, so they're doing it more with that man on second, I guess. But that's how it started. No,
was Earl Weaver? Did he do that because he had Boog Powell, Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson,
of course,
and others
in
that lineup where you're not going to sacrifice one of those guys because any one of those guys could,
Other teams followed though, Derek. I mean, who didn't have those guys, and everybody said, don't get, Earl's, he's a genius, don't give up and out, and really that's what's happened now.
Joe, what are your thoughts?
You know who really pushed that no bunting concept? And Rico's 100% right. Earl Weaver started it. He was actually, remember Gene Mock, Rico?
Sure, yeah.
Gene Mock was huge on bunting. him and Weaver were absolute opposites
Yeah.
on that concept. But more recently, Billy Beane pushed it. When you watch Moneyball, it's true.
Yeah.
Billy Beane said, someone wants to give me an out, I'm taking it any day of the week.
Yeah.
We'll take the out, and my team is not bunting. We are not giving up any free outs.
I mean, Rico, the Red Sox have been bunting more this year, I think. And I think it's because, as the opposite of what Derek was saying regarding speed, I mean, they got some kids that are pretty fast. And I think that they have been bunting a lot more. Louis, what do you think? I mean, you're a student of the game.
Well, all of that is true. And what's changed in recent years is the rules about pickoff moves and things like that have exasperated stolen bases. Stolen bases. This is why you don't walk anybody anymore, because you're walking them into scoring position. They just steal second base. Stolen bases are way up. Why give up one of your 27 outs to move a guy to second base when he can steal second base? Bunting for is a different deal. Sacrifice bunts are, you only get 27 outs. You don't give those outs up, especially when a guy, again, can steal second base.
What about it?
And Lou, the other problem is, I'm a baseball coach. I don't see bunting taught anymore.
No.
So if you don't know how to bunt, it makes it even worse, because your hitter winds up being 0-2 or 1-2 in the count, and now he's got to swing away in a hole.
Well, what about bunting a guy over from second to third, Lou?
Right, but Tom, here's the thing I think we're all missing. It's the contracts and the money. People don't want to bunt anymore. People want to hit the ball out of the ballpark because maybe it's another $3 to $5 million in their pocket annually, because sacrificing runners over isn't getting you a big contract. So nobody wants to learn how to bunt because there's no money involved there. I think the money is the biggest reason.
Could be, but at any time, I recall, they're not going to make your 3, 4, 5 hitters bunt. I mean, these are the RBI guys.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying this is what it's.
Yeah, but I mean, Rico, even when you played, did Yaz ever bunt, or did George Scott ever bunt, or did Ted Williams ever bunt, did Joe DiMaggio?
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to look at them bunt.
In game situations, if you need to run at Fenway, you might bunt the guy in second to third. With ghost runners in extra innings, in the first out, you give up the first out to move the guy to third. You might do that. Yeah. But again, outs are just too valuable to give up.
Yeah. The top of the inning, if you're the visitors, if you're the home team, then they say game's over. Fly ball, long fly ball. But in the top of the inning, you say you might as well let them go. Hit to the right side anyway.
Or if you like the Red Sox and you can't hit, you'd bunt for hits.
Well, actually, I have a whole.
They hurt. Come on.
Wait. Before we continue on, you guys want to hear my move? Here's my move. Louis, I know you're going to be all over me like a new suit in this one.
Should be.
They're not hitting, right? So why not consider, you got to cut bait with Trevor Story. No, I'm not saying release him. Put him on the bench.
Yes.
Right? You put him on the bench. You move Rafaela to third. You move.
What?
Listen to me. You move Mayer. You move Mayer to short, right? And then you bring up Roman Anthony and put him in center field. And then the guys at first, they're doing a decent job. And when Romy comes back, that's a pretty good club.
You trade Raffaele along with Story. Somebody will take.
Raffaele has played third. He could play third. Move Mayer to where he's supposed
like
to be
a third baseman.
Get out of here. Bring up.
See,
Roman
you could do
Anthony,
a whole show on this. Let's talk about auctions, will you?
Right, listen. One more thing I do want to ask both of you guys, actually the three of you. Pete Rose, Joe Jackson, now eligible for the Hall of Fame. Derek, your thoughts on that? Not only that, but it opens up a Pandora's box for Chick Gandil, for Buck Weaver, a bunch of those guys. What are your thoughts on that?
Are their cards going to be worth more?
Let's ask that question.
They've already been priced as Hall of Famers. I mean, certainly I've grown up. Just as a kid, I remember Joe Jackson not being in the Hall of Fame, and why wasn't he in the Hall of Fame? He's always been priced as a Hall of Famer, but I do think they'll go up more now because there's people that collect Hall of Famers. So the people that are, I collect cult heroes, Hall of Famers, people that should be in the Hall of Fame where they're being overlooked, regardless of what the voters say. And there's people that do that. But then there are people that, nope, not going to have a Joe Jackson or Pete Rose in my collection because he's not in the Hall of Fame officially. That will increase value. And I do think they're both going to get in. I think Joe Jackson probably before Pete Rose. But
what are your thoughts on that, Derek? Pro or con?
Cool.
Where do you go?
It would be a go.
Rico?
No, I'm talking to Derek.
Oh, me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Derek. What are your thoughts? Should they or should they not be in?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. They're both Hall of Famers. They should have been in. They're okay. I get it. Rosebud on baseball. He's also great, and a ton of other people have done all kinds of crazy things. He should have been in. He pissed off the commissioner, and then they just held on to that grudge for a long time. And Joe Jackson, it's just unconscionable with Joe Jackson. He's been out for way too long. He's getting in first, I think, before Rose, but they're both going to be in. They both should be in, and that opens the door to Chick Candle and Buck Weaver and other people.
Any guy who can hit that high without his shoes on, I mean, he's got to be.
Yes, exactly.
Joe, what do you think?
Well, they're both guilty as original sin, but I believe in forgiveness, and they were so great. I like it. Now, just because they're reinstated doesn't mean they're going to get 12 out of 16 votes. They have to get past that hurdle. Funny thing about Joe Jackson, everyone keeps on saying, oh, he hit 375 in the series. He hit a home run. He's one of the best hitters in the series. That's hogwash because Jackson hit well in 2 games, particularly when Arnold Rothstein's thugs didn't come up with money and they kind of revolted and they said, oh, we're going to go out and win. The second thing is most people don't know this. Christy Mathewson was invited to watch the World Series and cover it with the iconic sports writer Grantland Rice. And after the first 2 games, they were staring at each other and couldn't believe what they were watching because Jackson and Happy Felsch kept on letting pop-ups and fly balls fall in between them that they could have caught blindfolded. And they knew something was wrong. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And when Jackson hit his home run, the White Sox were down 10-1 in the 8th inning of the final game. So at the end of the day, he was guilty. But Tom, I believe in forgiveness, and they were so great. You got to turn the page and put them in.
That's it. It's their careers. You get in the Hall of Fame, it's your career. It's not 1, 2.
I agree with you, Lou. I agree with you totally, 100%. The three of you, Lou. What are your thoughts?
My position has been consistent on this right along. They cannot be part of the game of baseball. Pete Rose cannot be reinstated into the game of baseball. But if the Hall wanted to divert and put him in as a player, and put the plaque up, put him in the Hall, tell the story. It's a Hall of stories. It's like the Scott Rowland in the Hall of Fame. Tell me a Scott Rowland story. You can't. Kurt Schilling should be in the Hall. McGuire should be in the Hall. McGuire saved the game in '94. Bond should be in the Hall as much as I hate him. Clemens should be in the Hall.
Thank you, Lou.
Put him in and tell the story.
So what are we waiting for? Everybody knows the era. Put them in a separate wing. I mean, but to keep Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds out of the Hall of Fame is absolutely unconscionable.
And Scott Rowland and Harold Baines are in? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, come on.
You know why? Because a lot of these guys who were on those committees were Hall of Famers. You remember Joe Morgan said, they should never be in the Hall of Fame. We're embarrassed. We would be embarrassed to put them in there. But they had great careers, and I believe it's with Luke, same thing with they should be in the Hall of Fame. But what about their cards? But I'm curious. What about their cards? You think they're going to go?
Their cards are Rico.
$1 million. I mean, Rose. Over $1 million. You think?
But here's the thing. There's still so many people, like with the people you just mentioned, because we're good friends with Joe Drellick. He represents Harold Baines. Okay, he represents Dave Parker. I think if you hire Joe Drellick as your agent, you end up in the Hall of Fame somehow. So maybe Drellick has more to do with this than we know. But no, all kidding aside, there are people that only want Hall of Fame rookie cards and only want signed things and collect Hall of Famers. Yeah. I think that's a little shallow. I think but again, everybody collects the way they want to. I think players that belong. Dave Parker. I was a Pirates fan growing up. Dave Parker was one of the greatest players that wasn't in the Hall of Fame, and he finally got in. And thank God he got in, because these guys don't live forever. And if you're going to get in, put them in. Don't wait till they die to put them in.
Right.
Put them in to where they can receive the honor. But I think, to Rico, your point, I do think Clemens, Bonds, those cards will spike in value because there's a generation that's now in the. I mean, look, the hobby's tripled, quadrupled. Maybe I used to say doubled. It's got to be quadrupled. And there's a lot of people that, since they've been alive, Clemens and Bonds and those guys have not been eligible for the Hall of Fame, or or they're not going to get. I guess they're eligible. They're not getting the votes from the writers. Didn't say ineligible. So
Rico, let me throw one thing at you because you were such a great player.
Oh,
You played Major League Baseball and you played it at a high level.
Dream come true.
There were 5 criteria to the Hall of Fame. Yep. You don't have to meet 4 of the 5. You have, and I forget off the top of my head all 5. Mm-hmm. One of the 5 is preserving the integrity of the game. If you fall short on one of them, allegedly you are not eligible for the Hall. How do you deal with that?
Well, half the old guys are in there that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame then.
Yeah, see, you've mentioned that before.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, Rico has told me stories. There's stories, right, Rick? There are stories of guys that are in the Hall of Fame that, a lot of people don't know about.
The sports writers know.
Yeah. Well, I understand, but I think it was too tight. I mean, it was 2 500 home runs. Guy hits 400 home runs, and it was a great player. To me, Dwight Evans was, because I saw Dwight not only play with him, on the same team, but I saw him every day, and you wouldn't believe this. He made it look easy.
I think Dwight Evans is better than Harold Baines.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, right.
Well, should Louis Tiant be in, Rick?
I think so.
God,
not because he was a teammate, but
I get it.
Look at his stats.
Well, not only that, but all you got to do is look at Louis' stats, and look at guys like Ted Lyons is in. His stats don't match up. Catfish Hunter's stats don't match up with Louis Tiant's. Yeah. They just don't.
The only thing that Louis had to win is the Cy Young, and he should have won it for a couple of years there. But that's a great. I mean, it's a great discussion when the time comes for the Hall of Famers to be voted in. We have great discussions on it because people have their opinions.
Why is Steve Garvey not in? He was, when I grew up playing baseball. Like, how was he not? MVP's World Series Rookie of the Year. Like, I know he had he cheated on every wife and stuff like that, but whatever. That's what
are you bringing that up for?
Because that's the only thing he was.
The guy played 100. He played 162 games a year.
I know.
He had the National League record for.
Wait, wasn't he a liberal?
No,
he was a conservative. Okay, all right.
He ran for senator against.
All right. I forgot.
Anyway, so
and by the way, for our viewers, all you liberals out there, I have to say right now that the 4 faces on the screen, along with the producer, kind of lean to the right a little.
Yeah,
is that fair?
We don't get into politics.
That's fair. Hey, listen. Before we take a break, I got to ask you guys. We've got about a couple of minutes left.
That's it.
No, for the break, you moron.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Here's my question.
I deserve it.
The modern market seems to be, in my opinion, based on the hobby and what's coming in, is the modern market overtaking the vintage market, Joe?
Oh my God! Yes.
You know what?
Look at the grading numbers.
Volume-wise, yes, but I have to tell you, when you talk about the greats of the game, Mantle, Root, DiMaggio, Garrett, Cobb, and so on, I don't think it ever will. It'll compete. It'll be there. And what's the last few shows I've done, and Derek, I don't know what you see. I see a lot of young kids looking at Root cards and Mantle cards in the case and oohing and eyeing and, oh my God, Daddy, look at that. That's a Babe Ruth card. And those guys are like Washington and Lincoln. They're just American icons. They will never go away.
There's no question. But the growth of the hobby right now, if you look at what's being graded, it isn't even close on PSA's numbers. They're just so busy, it's unbelievable. And
all modern stuff, though, right?
You should have, and now it's not all modern, but I don't know if it's 90% or something, but it's crazy how much is Pokemon.
You need
it stuff and the modern. Keep in mind, Joe, when here's the question, and I don't know how we get an answer other than a survey, I guess. What percent of these people that buy modern? Because I bought modern when I started in 1985. Prior to when I was a kid, and then 1980, and I collected cards, then I stopped for a while. But then when I became a real collector, say 1985, I went to the local store and the wholesalers and bought 85 baseball, 85 football, and bought those boxes. But something led me to go back and buy Willie Stargell and Roberto Clemente cards and Thurman Munson cards, and I couldn't afford Mickey Mantle. But what percent of these modern guys, to your point, look at the vintage? Is it 20% can be converted? Is it 30%?
I think that's the number you got to find out.
Is that conversion rate? Because we do tell people, it's if you're really into the hobby, I do think you'll go back and put some of these guys in your collection, like Ty Cobb, to get a Ty Cobb in any grade, a Babe Ruth in any grade, not just have a ultra modern collection. I think it's cool in basketball to have a Wilt Chamberlain. You can have all the LeBrons and Kobe's and Jordan cards, but it's nice to have Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, and they talk about them during the shows. Rico, like you still hear, if you're watching an Orioles game, you'll still hear them mention Brooks Robinson. I hear Boston Red Sox, they'll mention Rico, they'll mention Yaz. They do bring up the old players. So
okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break very shortly. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the stuff coming down the road for the show. And I want to add on to what Derek is saying, because I guess one of the questions that I have is 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, is the Cobb card or the Mantle card or the Nap Lajoie card, are they going to go by the way of the Al Kaline card? Does the value go down as the baby boomers exit? Hang in there. We shall be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autographed ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectibles in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectibles has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectibles, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
Hey, see my... We on now?
I'm in the shadows.
See, my son with me on that ad, Petroselli Marketing. It's his business. I started, but
yeah, you know something. You're getting a piece of the action. Don't give me that.
I get
stuff.
nothing. I get nothing.
You are so
He's getting
full of
more
crap.
here.
And by the way, that was my
He's
screw up.
6'7",
Lou.
my kid. You
my
believe
screw
that?
up in the commercial.
I used to be 6'5".
Come on, Rico. Rico, by the way, I got to tell you something, man.
Go ahead.
Men's polo shirts. Can you? Well, listen. Can you pull some strings? And Louis and I, can you duke us one? They got some beautiful polo shirts, some full zip hoodies.
Yeah, where's my newest shirt? Like I do this thing all the time.
Well, Tom, see,
where is my? I do have a Great American Collectible shirt, and I wear it. By the way,
come on. What do you say? Can you?
All right, I'll get
some
you
strings, will you, please?
I
Don't be
will,
so cheap.
Hoodies.
I'll give you a discount too.
Thomas Silla needs some stuff. He needs some heritage gear.
Yeah,
we can outfit Tom and so all you
guys. But hold on,
guys.
Hold on,
especially Joe T.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, on the other side of the coin, in defense of my friend and mentor, who looks like my grandfather, Rico Petroselli, I want you both to know that you guys are cheap bastards because you could both be buying stuff from Petroselli Marketing to give to your consignors or whoever the hell you give it to. Don't be so cheap.
Well, wait, who said Derek's in charge of
the shows? Got to give me a number. Anyway, so what was your question, Tom? Did you ask?
I forgot.
You didn't have one that was valid. It's normal.
All right, listen.
The usual.
Rico, why don't you tell our good friends about Joe Drellick and the CSA shows? This ought to be a trip because he's going to read this from his phone. God, I want to hear this.
Well, my printer broke. CSA shows proud to present the Chantilly show being held from June 27th to June 29th, held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia, just minutes from the Dulles International Airport, celebrating 29 years at the same location. There'll be over 450 plus dealer tables exhibiting on over 125,000 square feet of space. That's large. With both vintage sports cards and memorabilia, as well as modern day sports treasures, you won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of your favorite superstars, listen to this, will be on hand, including NFL Hall of Famers, the Bus, Jerome Bettis. What a bull he was. Marcus Allen, Eddie George, Baseball Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones, and many more. Over 40 guests in total. For more information, go to www.csashows.com. That's the Chantilly Show, where you can find all of your sports collectible treasures.
Hey, actually, you read it quite nicely.
Yeah, I should do this.
Hey, by the way, coming down the road, and I know Derek was a big fan of the Great American Tournament, baseball tournament, the AI tournament.
Profound.
I mean, Joe, did you like it?
No.
It gave everybody a chance to get up and go get something to eat, come back, and listen to freaking Tom.
Well, didn't you like the 1909 Pittsburgh
Well,
Pirates?
wait a second. In the
They had
championship
big names
game,
on that
The
team.
championship game got it. I told you who would have won from day one.
It was a good game. The 27 Yankees.
Yeah, 27 Yankees. Shocking.
They beat the 39 Yankees.
Oh,
well,
wow.
anyway, guess what
They
we're
beat
doing?
the 61 Yankees.
No, they beat the 39 Yankees.
Okay, so then that's a flaw in the system.
No, it isn't. The 39 Yankees.
I agree
were way
with Derek.
better.
That's
Okay,
AI.
there you go.
Get out of here. You're
Lose.
both nuts.
Now, what are you going to have? Basketball?
Now, in about another 3 or 4
what are we
weeks,
gonna do?
we are going to be doing the Sweet 16 of the 16 greatest NBA teams of all time.
Up to what year? Going back to
Oh,
what year?
I don't care if it goes back to the Peach Baskets. Whatever my son-in-law, AI Danny, the basketball savant, comes out with, we are going to go with it. The Sweet 16 down to the Elite Eight, Final Four, and then a championship game. And my prediction
Doing John's on.
This is AI driven, right?
It is. Why, you got a problem with that?
No, just tell AI no team in NBA history is beating Jordan in his prime. Okay, so let's just get that out.
Okay,
I agree.
I think that Jordan team. What was it? The 91, 90. What year was that team? The big
There
team.
were a bunch of them.
No, there was the one team that was spectacular.
The one with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I think that team wins it all, but do not count out the 85-86 Boston Celtics.
Oh, I know he's going to say
with
that.
Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, and a cast of characters. Don't count
DJ.
DJ, yeah.
But yet you won't bring up Magic Johnson and Jabbar in the Lakers.
No.
See, that's what I mean.
See, this is total bias.
Why would I bring them up?
It says he's using AI. I don't think he is. He's putting his own stuff in there.
I swear to God.
Everybody's excited, though, to revisit this. So
definitely.
We listen to
Tom.
Derek,
with all due respect, you were the only one that was very jaundiced about it. You were the only one of all of our viewers.
Did you ask any of the viewers what they thought? No. You don't want to, because they come up to me at shows and said the best part of the whole thing was my comments attacking it. Okay, so
Louis, can we have a little help here? What are your thoughts on the Sweet 16 greatest NBA teams of all time?
Derek and I are bonding at the moment. I'm just
it's
feeling very in tune with Derek.
Don't go too far, though. I mean, who the heck?
I have nothing to do with.
Was great, yeah. But where people
can I tell you something? Honestly, if AI does it right, none of those early teams are going to make it. None of the Kuzi teams or the Mike and teams.
Some of the Celtics teams might make.
You're gonna do this with hockey too?
I don't like hockey. I'm not a hockey.
I think he's gonna do football. You gotta do
no,
football.
but you know what I like to do it with?
Football, yeah.
I like to do it with horse racing.
No, don't even get Joe started. Secretary,
Joe, right?
It's over. Yeah,
Hold
it's
on,
over.
guys. I'm going to the car. I'm getting the hat.
Yeah, it's time to get a secretary.
It is now post time.
Did you know, Tom? Did you know, Tom, that all the horses in the Derby this year were descendants of Secretariat?
I did not.
Yes.
All 30.
By the way, Lou, every one of them totally inferior. Just for the record.
Oh, well, hold on, Rico. I have a little side.
Who said the Secretariat was the greatest athlete?
Jerry Eisenberg, and I quote.
Yeah, that's good.
Listen, Rico, a little sidebar.
Yeah.
Last week's Preakness, you know who came in second? You know what the horse's name that came in second?
Tom
Gosga.
Right.
Named after Jimmy Gosga. And I texted him.
Nobody remembers who comes in second.
I got a call from him.
Well, Jimmy played for the Red Sox. And I texted him. I said, "Congrats!" He was like ecstatic. He was ecstatic.
They're doing his life story. He's got great stories, on and off the field. He's a great kid.
Nice guy. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy.
Guy's kid. He's my age. Anyway.
All right. So, anything else we want to add, Lou? Would you like to? How about a welcoming statement?
I'm just happy to be back. And like I said, I'm bonding with Derek, so I'm very excided to be back.
Yeah, see, he's a smart man.
See that?
All right, listen, we have a big auction opening up on Golden's site. We got the Wagner. We've got a ton of good stuff coming up with Mr. Grady and the Heritage site. By the way, Rico and I are going to be at the Shriners Show on June 29th. Rico's going to be doing a signing. Then we're going to be doing the show from there. I think we've mentioned this. Ellen and I are thrilled that we were invited on July 16th. We're going to be up at the Hall of Fame to give a little talk and do a book signing on Kenny Kendrick's book, The Diamondbacks Collection. We're pretty excited about that. Kenny may show up. He's trying to make arrangements so he can be out there. That'd be kind of cool. And I think that's about it. I think that's a wrap, Reek. First time you did well.
We got two of the best on. That's why.
We do. We have two of the best, and we're thrilled to have Louis back. Lou, all kidding aside, man, glad to have you back.
I'm happy to be
You know what we're all about, and you have a great wealth of knowledge.
We're going to crack 100 viewers now. We got Lou back. We're clicking on all cylinders. We're going to reach over 100 people this time, I think.
That's right.
All family members.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, Derek, thank you so much. We love you guys. Joe, good luck with the auction. Reek, tell the
guys are the best.
I said hi.
Thanks,
Louis, thanks for all your help. To our viewers and listeners, we love you guys. Thank you for all the support, and happy collecting.